Awesome. Awesome. Welcome.
Hello.
Few minutes.
Hi, hello everybody. Hi.
Oh, bienvenuto. I like
Grazie.
this. Afia's got hers up, her symbol up there, and Chris has got something very geometrical. I like it. Oh, hi, Chris. So very nice to see you. And Joshua.
Hey, folks.
Hey, so we're recording and stuff too, but maybe just a couple minutes to connect. We have no idea when we start these meetups how many people will show up, and sometimes it feels like it'll just be a few, and then it's like, yes, a few people, and we can just chit chat, you know, and then we get more people, and then it turns into more of a presentation. But I really enjoy being able to connect with people. So maybe just check in and see how you're doing.
Yeah, we used to do a lot in the beginning, had a lot of one-on-one soul discussions. It was really incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And once it became kind of more formalized. So yeah, it's great to connect in a relaxed way in the beginning.
Hey guys, yeah, so I've been off a bit for the summer, so been checking in. So, but it's good to see you guys doing lots of good work, and obviously the voting is going to start for this next round. So curious to see how that plays out, and looking forward to attending more of your sessions and stuff. And keep it up; you're doing a great job. Okay. All right.
Chris, you came off mute.
Yeah,
How are
I
you
was
doing?
gonna say I'm feeling really grateful for a nice trip my wife and I went on. We live here in Arizona in the States, and so we drove down to Mexico, and we had a nice reminder that the ocean is only 4 hours away. So we had a really nice time. Had to pay off a police officer that gave us a little bit of trouble, but other than that, smooth sailing.
Pay him off. That sounds good. That sounds very interesting.
That's the game.
And Chris will be presenting his project tonight at Pacific Town Hall, just as a FYI for people.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm excited for that. Thanks again for the opportunity.
Maybe we drop the link in there, and then also a reminder in the C4C Telegram chat, Nori. That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris, if you have a small blurb just introducing your project in a few sentences, that would be amazing. And then I could drop that in for marketing.
Awesome. And is it a proposal in Fund 9?
No. Nope.
No.
They're doing some amazing stuff with blockchain and regenerative stuff. So
we've got.
What do you mean regenerative stuff? Now
we got a space. You know, I closed. I didn't want to have any kind of proposal spotlight right now during voting and stuff, because it may show kind of favoritism. But, you know, if it's not part of Fund 9, maybe, Chris, you might be put on the spot to show something, because that sounds really up my alley. And sorry, Nori, to grab the thunder here, but it's like, oh my goodness, this sounds really awesome.
Happy to. Yeah, just let me know.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so you're up about 10 minutes in, maybe.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. And Soundiata Abbas BA. I probably did a terrible job of your name, but I'm trying. If you're there, and Abraham, feel free to come off mute. Afia and Michelle or Michael, you know, just feel free to jump in and just say hi and how's it going? How are you feeling? You know, check in.
Well, I can try to break the ice. So yeah, it's nice to be back and, you know, somehow restarting. And yeah, feels good. On the other hand, like to feel like the fall, the autumn is coming, because this summer was really warm, and I would say just in the last 10 days maybe we started to really have like cooler temperature, because even before that was super warm temperature and not really normal, you know. I live in the mountain, but that was too much, really. Never seen before.
It adds a layer of stress to our lives. And I noticed that this summer, because we had that hot summer last year, and this one was kind of mild. And hot and mild at the same time, but I couldn't enjoy it because of this heaviness of this thought of, you know, what's happening, you know, and is it going to get really bad? So it's something, you know, that I struggle with for sure, is just coming to be in the moment and to enjoy it for what it is, without this kind of ominous feeling, and kind of go with the punches, I suppose. Yeah. Anyways, it is fall and the beginning of something new.
And Michaela and myself, we are going to meet finally in 4 weeks in Geneva, right? In a Building Bridging conference. So looking forward for it.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm seeing Nori in a week. So again.
Oh yeah, we need to finalize some meetup
plans. Yeah, we'll do that soon. It's like everything else comes us. Abraham, welcome. Nice to see you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up here.
Oh, sure. I don't know how long I've known about Cardano4Climate, but I've been in this meetup once or twice before, and I really like it. I'm just here to educate myself about other people's ideas for using blockchain functionality for real world impact. So this one, including music, perhaps, are a couple that have obvious mainstream appeal and potential to onboard normal people to Cardano, and that's where my focus is.
I like that, normal people.
Muggles, I call them.
Muggles. That's exactly what it is, because there's wizards in the tech world, and muggles. Yeah, definitely. Boots on the ground, you know, connecting the virtual with reality is important for sure. Are you a tech person, music person? You're talking about impact. Where does that sit with you?
I'm kind of in the middle, creative and analytical. In my past life, my pre-Cardano life, I was an e-commerce expert. So I spend most of my time in web analytics and pay-per-click ads, conversion optimization, basically figuring out why people do what they do and precisely why a product sells or doesn't sell when people are faced with certain like messaging. Now I'm mostly interested in figuring out different ways for benefits of blockchain to click naturally with people that otherwise never really saw themselves as being involved. And I think we're probably going to enter into some sort of golden age of dApp development. I'm hoping that Cardano can stop selling dApps to each other and start thinking of how can we leverage our dApp ecosystem to onboard the rest of the planet directly to Cardano.
Perfect. Sounds like you're in the right place. And Afia, I saw you come on video. If you've got a chance to check in too, that'd be great. Always good to see you.
Yeah. Yeah, good to see the team at work too. As usual, here to connect and just look at all the amazing work that C4C is doing and how to be impactful in our ecosystem. So I'm here, Afia, from WADA, and also from C4C.
We're all part of this community. It's decentralized and all over the world. So checking in from Ghana. Yeah, beautiful. So I'm wondering, we do have sort of a small program. We are celebrating our year 2 for Cardano, and doing some reflecting. You know, the fall is an awesome time for that. As we kind of bring in this harvest, we've got a Fund 9 coming in. Will there, you know, what will the harvest be like? You know, will we get proposals funded or not? But we know that this cycle keeps going on, and we're making big plans for the future. And organizing things. Now, and please, if Nori or Yorm, you want to add anything else in general before we start our slide deck?
I think we're good. I'll share the slide deck link if people want it.
Good. Oh, and it's got other, it's not a, I think it's okay to go. Sometimes we put other links in there and other slides. So Yorm, when you start, you know where to start on the welcome page, right? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
you go ahead and start.
Let me know when you see my screen. Everyone.
Yep.
Perfect.
And yeah, even just trying to think, because we did have a few trolls come in. We've had an issue with trolls and bots coming in, and you know, just in case anybody ever gets booted out of Cardano4Climate, let's figure that one out. Abraham, you have a question?
Yeah, it occurred to me, we're using Zoom right now. And I'm sorry, that sounded stupid. I've been looking around. I've been looking around for an entity that would be interested in helping us make a Zoom integration. And one of the problems that would solve is like a more secure Zoom environment where you don't get Zoom bombed. But I'll shut up. I'll wait.
No, that's okay, because we did add registration to the Zoom link, and that seems to help as well. But you know, it's something. It's like, here we are trying to fight climate change, and we've got to deal with, you know, spammers and scammers and stuff like that too. It's a little bit disappointing, you know, when you have to change your attention anyways. But
Abraham, if you're talking about like logging into a Zoom meeting with a wallet, like NAMI or Journal, then I'm totally interested in talking about that. That might be an
not only that, but conversely, you can automatically detect and reward attendance.
Yes.
If you look at Zoom's API library and webhooks documentation, a minting server would be able to not only detect who RSVP'd and showed up, but hold off on sending them any kind of rewards until they actually attended the majority of the session. You can detect that they stayed for the entire thing, and then react based on that.
I would love to talk to you more about that, because I think that aligns with our tokenomics working group, which I would invite you to, which happens on Fridays. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the slides.
For sure. And then, yeah, you'll have a link to the Telegram chat in that, Abraham. That'd be great. I love this when this happens, this connection, and it's kind of spontaneous and almost it feels like by accident, but it's not. So anyways, welcome to the Cardano4Climate weekly meetup. One day we'll figure out what number this is, but it's probably around number 50 or 52 or 54 or somewhere in there. We're in the 50s for sure. And we're celebrating our first year as a community within Project Catalyst and within the Cardano ecosystem. We realized that one day wasn't going to be enough. So we're making it up over the 4 weeks of September and talking about our past, present, and our future. Our agenda is going to cover the events that we just went through, Impact Fest and mini Impact Fests, and how we're reflecting on them and getting feedback, Project Catalyst in our present fund, collaborations with Little Fish. Nori's got an interesting and amazing way of counsel that we're working on. And of course, our C4C Gimbal tokens, problem-based learning and D work. And the upcoming months, we're having an event sometime in September for onboarding and also the Cardano Summit. Next page, next slide. And we know why we're here. Well, at least this is why I'm here for sure, because, you know, watching Charles talk about banking the unbanked and making the world work better for all. This is the beginning of how I ended up in Project Catalyst. And the next slide.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. No, I want to say, yeah, just
Please,
about that. And
Yorm,
we speak
jump in.
about reflection, all of that. I mean, it's amazing that we 53 weeks of meetings. We probably had over 200 meetings right this year between different teams. And and when we started, we kind of put as an objective, how can we make sure this blockchain will be a blockchain for good, right? And we make more and more application and companies coming on board. And Fund 9, coming up with 200 direct impact related projects. It's just incredible. I mean, to reflect a little bit about these numbers. And I think it's really huge. And yeah, so really proud on being part of that. And it's because it's also persistent, right? Nothing happened in one day, and it's persistent and working together and connecting, and yeah, things take time, especially if we speak about regeneration or agriculture. It's all things that takes time, right? And yeah, so just want to reflect.
I remember you saying that a while back, and your goal that you want for Cardano4Climate is making Cardano the blockchain, the go-to blockchain for impact. And I thought, oh my goodness, in my small thinking, I thought that's impossible. And this is what I love about this community, because we come together with these goals and these visions and these ideas, and together we can help us come out of this small thinking, the thinking that we can't make a difference, we can't impact climate change, but in fact we can. We can't do it by ourselves, but definitely as a community and in the right environment.
We can, and 1 year after, I'm definitely convinced that if we come together as communities, with WADA and with Gimbers and all the different communities and our community and any people that want to join, we definitely can impact the root of this blockchain as a start. And then obviously connect with other blockchain to achieve as well. But and that will be huge, because we need to make sure this technology will be used for good, right? For transparency, traceability, regeneration, all of these areas. And so I'm very positive it's possible. It's not going to be easy, but we need to continue, and it's possible. And yeah, we're already getting spaces in the Global Summit, and right, all these things that are happening already in the ecosystem. So yeah.
Well, you control the slides, Yoram, so you can keep us here if you want.
No, let's go, please.
And talking about, so we start in Cardano with the mission of making the world work better, and then we land in Project Catalyst, which is an environment I'm not used to. This idea that mistakes are actually iterations, and things will break. We're warned that things will break. Let's figure it out and fix it. And we're going to be disoriented, overloaded, and inspired. But this is the one thing, is to provide a safe and lively environment for you to explore the highest potential of human collaboration. This is what gets me. And this is the collaboration. This is where we will see change, when we explore that potential. Next slide. And for those of you that might be new, Cardano4Climate started as a challenge in Fund 6 or 7, I can't even remember now. And it's grown into a community. Someday we'll figure out the exact numbers and metrics and all that, but we keep growing. Next slide, please. And our mission is turned into making the world work better for all people, animals, and the planet, with a focus on social and environmental impact. Next slide, please. Next slide. So recently, next slide, please, Yoram. We've had, we've had Impact Fest, and August 11th, we're still working on the reflection on that and how we can make that better. how we can improve and iterate on this. What came out of this, which was really cool, was a mini Impact Fest and other communities coming on board to jump in on this. And Yoram, please, or Nori, or anybody else, if you want to jump in, feel free to say something.
No, again, this Impact Fest, and we will share the link for the 2.5 minute video that was kindly done by Juanita. I mean, it was such an incredible energy, and it brought so many communities together, and 60 projects presented, right? And I mean, it's incredible, and we need to continue this collaboration atmosphere. It's not C4C. Everyone here is important. Everyone can come and take things forward, and yeah, and the collaboration definitely within the community is the key. So that was amazing.
Next slide. Yeah, we had a few people show up, and pretty cool to see so many faces and this desire to work in collaboration. Next slide, please. We got some really good feedback.
We broke our Zoom account.
Broke our Zoom account.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Had Joshua from WADA jump in and help us figure out how to learn on the fly, and Cole, he helped me figure out how to live stream to Zoom. So that was pretty cool. Our feedback form, I just dropped it in the chat. If you want to add some more, we will. Nori, have you figured out what we want to do about a reflection?
Yep.
Next slide. What do you think? Oh, sorry, next slide. And this one, just to say, there's recordings uploaded now from the European Town Hall, Environmental Town Hall. Very cool. Talk about, I'll drop that link in there too.
All right, for the mini Impact Fests events retrospective, because it happened around the world at almost every local regional town hall, we probably want to do the reflection on those kind of asynchronously at each of those things. So I've created in our new Shiny Miro account a board. There's a link to it to do the reflections. Just a shout out to all the different communities and people that did the mini Impact Fests in the different town halls. Please use this as an opportunity to talk about how it went. If I can share my screen really quick, I'll walk through it just so that we can talk about that. All right, so we're using kind of a standard Miro retrospective board that I find a fun way to think about it. So over on the west side of this island of mini Impact Fests as a sweet fruits, what went well. This is a place to jot down what went well with the events around the world. Up to the north is Hidden Gold. Shout out to your team. So an opportunity to just recognize people for the great things they did and really celebrate the community efforts here. To the east is Pirates on the Shore, and that's really what didn't go well. So things we can improve, such as the 100-person Zoom limit. We need to upgrade our accounts, things like that. Definitely can go here so we can improve it for next time. And then finally to the south is Message in the Bottle. These are actions and points for the future. So what do we want to pass on to our future selves as things we can do? So that's basically the basic outline, and we'll try doing this for a week or two asynchronously and see if we can collect some feedback from everybody who participated.
That's amazing, Nori. You are a whiz at this. Beautiful.
And yeah, so I'll also be sharing these links in the different Town Hall and Impact Fest chat rooms and places that I know, but if you know of ones that happened that I might not, please do share the link with them and get them to jump in and reflect, because I think it's really important. One of the things we like to do is we like to plan, we like to do, and we like to reflect. So that's kind of the three triangles that continuously spiral outwards and grows our community and makes us better and better. So that's why we do this.
Beautiful. Next slide, please. So within C4C, presently, we're in year 2. and it begins. Hard to believe that it's, you know, August 27th was our first message on Telegram, and here we are already in September. And it's changing. It feels like there is that new year coming forward. Different things. We've done a lot. We've iterated. We figured some stuff out, and now it's a matter of how do we bring this all together and make it even more scalable, more impactful. Next slide, please. Next slide. That's over to you, Yoram, and I believe it'll be the next slide. Where are we in Project Catalyst?
Yeah, so up. Yeah, so I mean, we are all about voting. I guess everyone is now, after a few weeks of delay, all in voting. Yeah, I mean, that's the phase for the next 2 weeks. Then there will be a governance one. We have I think we did a lot of the impact phase was a good way to promote a lot of the proposal, connect between people. I don't know if we want here to speak a little bit about, we'll speak later on, right, about some of the challenges that we proposed for the future. But yeah, I mean, good place now to go and actually see, as you all know, a lot of hard work was done to put together all the impact related proposals, which is amazing. We have again 200, I think it's in the next slide, 200 impact related proposals that directly wanted to make an impact on environmental or social. I mean, most of the proposals on the blockchain are impactful, but this one, there's direct intention to do so, with direct social and environmental goal. And this brings us, you know, first of all, we communicated obviously to Cardano Foundation and to IOG. Also for ourselves, you know, if you just click on AIM, you can go, you can see a list of all the proposals, and it might help you to vote to like-minded proposal that you want to support. And also in lead donation, we integrated inside the process already. You can search for impact-related proposal, or when you see a proposal, you can see if it's an impact sign on it. So a lot of work is being done to kind of bring forward impact-related proposal to the community. So I think that's very important, and consider that when you vote, and help each other obviously as well. Yeah, so that's on that. That's really, if anyone have issues with the voting and so on, so reach out or connect out to Catalyst. We can help to connect and ask where to ask the questions if needed. But let's do it.
Perfect. Also coming up, we've begun a collaboration with Little Fish. Next slide, please. Ikigai onboarding, your reason for being in C4C. And Shakan spent some time with us yesterday at our working team meeting and started this process where we're each going to individually find that place where we find something that we love to do, we're good at, community loves it, and we can maybe get paid for it. So no, not maybe get paid for it, but that this becomes a sustainable way of going forward into the future. Yeah, that's my little thinking that comes up, that it's not possible, you know, that this can change, but it is possible, and we're starting to see it. Nori.
Yep, for those who are unfamiliar with Ikigai, there you can see the 4 circles that overlap on the diagram there. They are really about finding what you love to do, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. And the intersection of those 4 is what's called the Ikigai, at least in the model that we're using here. And so the real fascinating piece is that through finding your Ikigai, you can find out how you can contribute to C4C. There may be a role or a task or something that really fits into that middle overlap of all 4. And we'd love for you to jump in there. The real big power as you zoom out into the Little Fish model is C4C may not fit all of your Ikigai, but the other communities that are participating as Little Fish colonies might have other things. So as colonies start to overlap and grow out, the hope is that you're able to find total fulfillment within a community working for different groups, doing the different things that you love to do, that you're really good at, that the world needs, and that they can pay you for. So that's kind of what we're hoping to build out. So we're doing that in C4C to help us kind of identify those things. And really, there's some really great examples. Somebody did their Ikigai, and then somebody inside a Little Fish saw something that they didn't have anybody to do. And they're like, hey, we have some tasks related to this. And they were able to jump right in and start contributing. So it's a really great exercise. And it's kind of just a map so that people can also see what you're about, where your passions lie, what you're good at, and maybe that can spur connections and collaborations and different things as well. So I think it's a really good exercise to try out.
Yeah, so Little Fish is running us through this system that they've worked out for onboarding and figuring these things out, making it possible for other communities. And I believe this is one of the, they've got several proposals in Ikigai in the community. Cool thing about Little Fish, they always work through something first and then figure it out if it's working before presenting it. And that's what we're doing with this one. It's yesterday in the meeting, I just felt like we are working on this in parallel. We're doing our stuff. Little Fish is working on the tools of DAOs in parallel, and we're starting to come together, that parallel convergence into the future. Next slide, please.
Yeah, just to mention that it's a big process now where basically we're kind of a community that's implementing the Little Fish model. And if anyone wants to get involved in that also, it's going to be a lot of work, but it's very interesting, I think, process to go through. So, and you can join the working teams maybe on Tuesday, right? Working group.
Yeah, and that's a private chat. So you'd have to reach out to us, Nori, myself, or Yoram. And we can send you the link if you're interested in being in that working team group and working through this process as a team, and then we'll figure out how we can do it for individuals, start implementing it. Because in reality, we're all little fish, aren't we? Swarming around, and we can actually make more impact. Nori, that's up to for you. Back
can you forward? Wait.
Did you go too far forward?
Yeah. Okay, we're here. Community Council. Sorry for that.
Let me share a Google Doc link. So this is an idea to bring a little bit of a different kind of mechanism to Cardano4Climate. The intent of this community council is to help grow the community and allow our full selves to show up and contribute our unique talents. And to do that, this is a mechanism to help us share at the deepest levels and create a method of sensing, advice seeking, and community building. And this is just one of the tools that we can try out. And the proposal is now currently to do it at the 4th community meeting of every month. So this month it would be the 28th. And we'll use that meeting to do the community council. And what is the Way of Council? The document has some links. There's actually a book called The Way of Council, and there's some articles and links there. But it's basically, the basic form of it is people come together in a virtual circle. If you're meeting physically, you would actually be sitting in a circle, but in Zoom, we may facilitate it around a Miro board with actual seats that you put your name around, or we'll just find a way to make sure we have a link of people that forms a circle. And then there's 4 intentions for that. 1 is speaking from the heart. Number 2 is listening from the heart. So when you're in council, we ask that you turn off all social media, turn off Telegram, Discord, email, and just be there 100% present to witness what other people are saying. The 3rd intention is being lean of expression. So that is taking up as much time as you need, but no more. So yeah, that's an interesting one for me, because you always want to get all your ideas out, but that moment may demand that you say less or even be silent and just pass the stone. So that's also okay, is you don't have to speak, you can pass and let the next person go. 4 is spontaneity. When listening, you don't plan what you're going to say when it's your turn. Be fully present and listening to what people say. And when it's your turn, speak to whatever comes up in that moment. And then we have a 5th, intention, which is confidentiality. So whatever comes up in council stays in council. So the document talks about the mechanisms and some alternative forms. If we have a large group, we may move to some of the alternative forms. There's a fishbowl model where there's an internal circle that happens, and then there's a bunch of viewers around that don't participate. And then there's a spiral, which may be more appealing to this community, where there's an inner circle, and after somebody speaks, they spiral out to the listening group and somebody spirals in to speak next. So that brings people in and out of the conversation as we go around. So that's something we can look at too. But the documents here, I would love comments, and we're going to try it out in the 4th community meetings of the month. And yeah, and hopefully it'll be a really good tool to help us come together and share at a deeper level. So that's the basic introduction.
See, we're getting our schedule made up for the coming year. Sitting in, filling in and figuring out where we're going, calendar. Next one's you too as well, Nori.
All right, the C4C GTPBL and D-Work bounties. So we are participating with Gimbal Labs on their Gimbal Labs token project-based learning. So there is a bunch of tokens that were created by Gimbal Labs, and we're creating an experiment on how do we make that a community token. So we're meeting every Friday to talk about how Cardano4Climate can participate in that. And we have a small tranche of tokens. I think we have about 900,000 granted to us from this thing. So we're looking at ways of using that to exchange gimbals for participation. So attending meetings, we'll give out gimbals. By doing some tasks, we'll reward gimbals. So we don't expect that we'll always be going to Catalyst to get ADA for funding. So one experiment we want to try is, can we switch to gimbals and do that for different things? And it's really right now a marker of participation rather than an exchange of value. So that's kind of where we're experimenting with. We have a bunch of Miro boards, and as part of this, we're also looking at D-Work, which is a software that's being used by a number of different communities in the Cardano space to create tasks, to create bounties. And each task has an assigned number of ADA or gimbals or whatever, and people can connect through Discord. And then the back end is kind of a GitHub project board, but it has a nice user interface that allows you to search for bounties that are open. You can claim them, you can submit work, and then the core team will approve it, and then you'll get rewarded the gimbals or the ADA or whatever the bounties have been offering. And it's just a great way to kind of surface what needs to be done and allow people to asynchronously kind of just self-manage and take stuff and jump in and do work. So that's kind of the experiments we're doing. If you're interested in this topic, please do join us, because it's an experiment, it's exciting, and there's lots of stuff to do. So
we also come from different perspectives and different views and different training, you know, whether you've got project management, you know, how do you take this big job of running a community and break it into manageable tasks so that not, you know, one person's not being the heroic leader and doing it all. You know, how do you recognize contributions? So these are all questions. I've loved these meetings on Friday because it does explore different possibilities and definitely opens up my mind to what could become something normal in the future, which is pretty fantastic. I noticed that I was working with ClickUp yesterday, Nori from Shakan. He suggested using this, and it's a really cool way to do tasks and subtasks and relations. You've got a Gantt chart, and there's a Discord integration on this. So I invited you to that new channel just to experiment with that. That's the reason behind it. And maybe there's some way that we can organize this for other communities and offer this as a kind of a package deal, templates, and a way of making this easier instead of reinventing the wheel like we've done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exciting. We'll definitely take a look at those things.
Yeah, and the ClickUp is very user friendly. So I'm just kind of curious. I've always got that caution inside of me, like, what's the catch? It's free. What's the catch? But anyways, we'll figure that out.
They get all of your
ClickUp.
data.
Yeah, Chris, this is it. ClickUp.com. Exactly. So we also reward participation. And maybe we come off stop share and just do our goofy faces. If you want to come off video, get a screenshot. I think, how does that work? I think somebody, was it Newman, figured out how to do a screenshot in the video? Do you remember? Or do you just have to do a screenshot on your laptop?
I think you just do a screenshot on your laptop.
Okay, because can someone do that? Because otherwise I have to go off. Cole, you're going to do it. Check it out. So just say hi, wave, come off, show us that you're human. Hi, Mohammed. Hey, Rick, you're waving. He's waving. That's awesome. Tommy's there. Awesome. Okay, and a screenshot anytime, Cole. That's awesome. Joshua, nice to see you too. And Rick's clapping. He's human. Sandiata Abbas BA says he's multitasking and doing all sorts of stuff. So there we go. We've got some hearts showing up. So at some point or another, we'll have something there showing who we are. All right. A little bit of goofiness. It's almost like getting up and dancing in the middle of a presentation, right? Shake it up. Shake it up. That's it. I like that, Chris. Maybe next time you can give us some really good music. To start off the right vibe in this meetup. Okay, so back to the slides for a real quick finishing up.
And now I'm just to let you know, yeah, Felix is also part of the Gimbal experiment as a Swarm community, and he's kind of leading actually the way many things as well, and doing some great work there. So yeah, we are in the same, speaking about the same experiment that we are going through different communities.
Perfect. Yeah, it's a big community.
Okay. You see my screen?
We can see your screen. Yes. I like the way Simon did that with that face. It's different. So we'll just do a quick promo on ours. One of our biggest challenges as a community is that we help people with their proposals across, this time was 13 different challenges, which means you have to learn a new challenge. Where does this best fit in? How can we reshape this proposal to fit in here? And it would make our life a little bit easier if we had challenges that we were the challenge team for. This is the same challenge we put in from the very beginning. Similar with new iterations, climate change to challenge, 500,000, and specifically to impact climate change. The next one Yorm's going to speak to.
Yeah, I mean, we onboarded, I mean, one of our objectives is to onboard as many entrepreneurs, impact project, impact company, and I think we did it quite well in the last couple of funds, you know, with incredible companies, and we have Michaela this year from Impact Scope, which is an incredible company that also did proposals this fund. So our objective is really that, and we said, okay, let's have a dedicated challenge for that. How we bring impact entrepreneurs that are trying to solve social and environmental related issues, always as an opportunity for Cardano, right? I mean, it's a huge opportunity for Cardano, and yeah, and we can speak about it to change some key industries. Yeah, so. A very important one.
It's interesting because, you know, a year ago, Project Catalyst, we were given the challenges, and there's this experiment to shift the control to the community. And that's what this is a community coming up with these challenges within us and seeing the needs and coming up with these. This is $500,000 proposal. And thank you, Cole, just dropped in a video. Did you want to speak to that for entrepreneurship challenge?
Yeah, no, it's just a video overview, kind of highlighting the challenge. And if you want to learn more, just take a look at that video. Yeah.
Fabulous. And this is a really a good point with proposals. If you can do a summary video, drop in there, that's your connection with people. And some people may resonate with this. Next challenge is close to my heart. And I think that when I saw things break in Fund 7 with the downvoting of some amazing communities, and I also realized that we just don't have enough to go around for everything that's out there. So this is a challenge that we put in this fund, and it's based on collaboration and cooperation with limited resources. There will be weekly meetings, weekly, bi-weekly, and across different time zones. We have a collaboration expert, John Buck, coming on board from Governance Alive to help us train us to be good facilitators for this collaboration. The fund is 250,000. We will all agree on how that gets spent out within that group. So I wake up some nights and go, what have you done? This is a huge challenge, but I feel like the voting, you'll find it in after Fund 9, even with our 200 impact proposals, if we voted for every single one there, we're already 200,000 over in the DAOs Love Cardano or dApps and integrations. So we cannot possibly do it with just voting. So this is a model, and hopefully it'll be something that we can use going forward.
And what I like a lot in this challenge is that, again, it's focused on the objective of the challenge, not on each separate proposal, right? So if the objective, how you make sure the objective of the challenge is done, because, you know, when we speak about climate change, only big issue, everyone said we need to collaborate, right? But who is willing to collaborate, right? And so this is really focusing on collaboration and focusing on the objective of the challenge as a group. So it's a very interesting experiment.
The other thing I noticed in Project Catalyst, a lot of us are out there. If you go through those 200 proposals, there's a lot of reinventing the wheel, and we're very disconnected. We don't know where the other impact proposals are, and we're trying to bring it together with Impact Fest. So this is all food for this challenge, bringing people together and connecting first, and then we work together instead of these individuals, because like I said at the beginning, you bring more people in, you get a bigger idea and a better proposal. Okay, that's definitely the one that I love. Can you tell? Next slide. And if you have any questions, we also have a Telegram chat started for this. There's very little going on in it at the moment, but we'll start picking up in after our birthday celebrations. So I'll drop some links in that. Cole, maybe do you want to speak to this? I put in some slides with the questions on the form. Do you want to explain why we're
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we've been here for a little over a year now, and it was our big birthday celebration last Wednesday, and kind of to bring the community together and kind of reflect on why we're here and why we're part of the Cardano4Climate community. We've created a Google form that will allow people to reflect through like why they're here in the Cardano ecosystem, why they joined Cardano4Climate, and then we're gonna compile a video of the different responses from that Google form, and then create kind of a community video highlighting all of our responses and kind of a cool overview of why we're all here. And I'll drop that Google form right now.
perfect? So, and if we have time, you know, maybe rather than breakout rooms or something else, these are the questions that are being asked on this. And if you can just think about this for a little bit. Is that the first one? What brought you to the Cardano community? The next one is, how did Cardano4Climate become part of your story? And how did Cardano, oh, there's two there. I think there's one slide is doubled. So there's just the two questions, right, Cole?
Yeah, and we're just asking for like a quick 15 to like 30-second video response so that we can compile like a really cool video together and kind of have all of our thoughts and feelings of why we're here and share that with the rest of the community.
And so we can even do a part of that today on our recording and just catch that. So if you think about those questions, they are, again, what brought you to the Cardano community, and how did Cardano4Climate become part of your story? Maybe we can just put those together and save everybody a whole bunch of work.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay, I think you got to skip one slide there, Yoram. And okay, there we go. That's it. Why are we here? And our next big event coming up is sometime in September, Fund 10 onboarding. And hopefully we'll see a lot of collaborations happen before we start writing those proposals in stone and putting them in. But we'll see these things coming together. So that's coming up. If you're interested in events or helping out or planning, you've got some gifts that you want to share, come on and help us out with this. And I will drop links in for that. Next slide, please, is a calendar of community events. And this is kind of a lame calendar. So Yorm, next slide. Yeah, if anybody wants to help, oh, sorry, the one back. We've got a little bit of a delay over cyberspace. We have different communities. Anybody that's new here may not know about these. Latam, they ended up doing a mini Impact Fest there. They meet Thursdays, 21:30 UTC. Africa Town Hall also had a mini Impact Fest every 2 weeks. So the next one will be on the 16th. We have our Friday, 3 p.m. UTC, exploring ways to build up communities, and Pacific Town Hall. Thank you, Nori, because we're missing that there. And that's every 2 weeks. So tonight, 7th, and then the 21st again. Impact Lead Generator, Cole, do we have, is that Friday, 2 p.m. UTC?
Yeah, Friday, 2 p.m. UTC, and it's kind of like a support session and onboarding session for any new community impact lead generators, or anyone who's kind of a little stuck during the process and needs support from the core team. And we're also hosting a after town hall session today to give a little bit more of an overview and try to bring some more people from Catalyst into our new lead generation model.
Excellent.
And for Pacific Town Hall, Chris is here with us and he'll be presenting the stuff that he's been doing recently. Do you want to give a short intro if people are
or short or long, because this would be a great time to yeah. So we've got, hang on, we've got just one Cardano Summit, and then we've got free space. How about we give you the floor after we just talk about Cardano Summit? So Chris, we're going to leave you in suspense for a minute. Chris is speaking at Pacific Town Hall, and you'll get a little flavor of what's going on today. If for some reason Pacific Town Hall happens at what time UTC? Is that like
I think
2 a.m.?
1 a.m. UTC or something.
On Thursday, actually, it becomes Thursday.
Yeah. 6 p.m.
Thursday.
Wednesdays Pacific time.
Okay, so the next slide, let's just talk quickly about this. And sorry, Chris, for cutting you off because you were ready to. Next big thing coming up is Cardano Summit, and we're creating an impact tribe. It's not just C4C. It's anybody that cares about impact, social and environmental impact, coming together and figuring out how we can offer a ground up piece to Cardano Summit. And I'll drop in links to that. Chris, now it's up to you. Maybe we stop sharing the screen and
we officially end the meeting in a minute, right? Because I think I can probably do it in that amount of time.
All right.
Oh, well, we actually have an extra half hour if we want, because that would normally be our breakout rooms. We can just go totally off grid right now if we want. So
nice, right on. Yeah, so I think what would be interesting with what we're doing here in Superior, Arizona, here in the United States, is finding ways to bridge on the ground projects with the Web3 world. So here we say the ground is the ground, which is a little koan that for us is really guides the way. I'll show you a quick 2.5 minute video if that's okay, because
Yeah.
it'll
Can
really
you
paint the
share
picture.
screen?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then we'll talk about how we're actually bridging the two. So let me share screen. To get the music to work has been this way. So
You definitely need some good music.
yeah, you called it.
On a Sunday afternoon.
So we have a foundation supporting us.
Couldn't get away too soon.
And also some stuff with cryptocurrency too, which we'll allude to.
I'm very animated.
Building these gardens that produce healthy soil and use low water usage, circulate the water.
So the music's a little loud to hear you, Chris.
Oh, I see.
This looks like cob or cob building. Or is that mixing it?
We're using, we'll talk about it in a second, because I can see you're right, the audio is not coming through. When people found out that we're using cryptocurrency, they sent a documentary team out to film us, which is pretty cool. Yeah. They're like, what? A real life, on the ground project? Somehow using cryptocurrency?
Beautiful.
We had a planting party. Got the kids involved. Mycelium and worms. Love it. One lunar cycle.
So in 30 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they came from starts, right? It wasn't not that we sowed the seeds, but we started with the starts, and that was from one lunar cycle of growth. And so a few highlights on there that you can be seeing is that we have each lunar cycle, we set goals for ourselves. And so our team comes together and says, okay, by the next new moon, what do we want to have accomplished? And then we work towards that. And so it's been really inspiring. Okay, so now, let's look under the hood a little bit. So a good way to do that is to go to Discord. So let's go to Discord. So we have a Discord channel or Discord server, Regenerative Technology Community. And in here, we don't have a ton of people active, but we have some who are very active. So just to give you an idea, we have a work team that comes together, like I said, and then we track all of our time on Discord. And we're really kind of towing the line between what to formalize and what to not formalize, because as you probably know, when you're working with groups, and I have Dave Snowden, the anthro-complexity guy, to thank for this, who's made it really clear that some systems, social systems, begin to break when you start to tack on too much formalization. So what we've found for tracking time is it's very easy to just use Discord. We have a dedicated channel for it. And anytime that someone's doing something, they just put a picture, that's the proof of work, with the amount of time and who did it. So you can just see here, here's the examples, here's the images. And so everyone on the team, not everyone likes to enter stuff into spreadsheets, but hey, they'll take a picture and put a little descriptor of what they're doing. And so that's what we're doing here. Yeah, you had a question, Melanie?
Really incredible, because you also have a documentation of the process, a photo
Yes.
documentation.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Each lunar cycle, then, not only are we tracking how we did against our goals, but then we can also turn this into a spreadsheet. So again, not everyone wants to be entering stuff into spreadsheets. So we have someone who compiles the information from the Discord channel that does the time tracking, and then we just put it in here. And once we have it here, and here's our proof of work or proof of attendance, essentially it's just the images. So we're using it as an analogy that enables us to do a lot of things. Like, for instance, we can compensate people's time. If we had funds available for us to compensate for people's time in fiat, we could pay them in fiat. But what if we want to pay them in cryptocurrency? Well, we can do that too. Also, just a shout out to Little Fish. From our conversations with them, it looks like having a spreadsheet like this makes our community Little Fish ready, in the sense that each one of these line items can be an NFT, and we could package all this into one lunar cycle as an NFT. No problem. It's really easy. It's not annoying or a big hassle for the individuals on our team to do it, because we're just working off that lunar cycle and we can just compile it that way. Another thing on the lunar cycle, just because once you have it into the spreadsheet, it creates a number of affordances. So let's go back over to Discord. Are you seeing the Discord channel again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you share the link to that too, if it's open to people?
Yeah, it's definitely open. I'd be happy to. So we have our lunar cycles, and then we can report on who is spending how much time doing the work within that lunar cycle. So you can see Miguel, he was the hero. And what we say is, for viability, we don't want one person to be the heroic do-it-all. But how do we track this? This is easier to do when we can see the distribution of time, just pulling it from that spreadsheet. And so we can also see, start to look for patterns for what our consistency is over time. We do a number of things with the Enneagram and how we use it as a process map, which we won't get into now, but that's there. So then what about the cryptocurrency thing on top of that? And Melanie, I'll stop here. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just like, wow, beautiful. I'm very excited about this. Keep going.
Thank you. All right. So here we have Giveth, and this is one platform that we've used because of its simplicity. So here we put our project.
So you're still in Discord at the moment, so you might have to stop.
Thanks. That was very helpful for you to say that.
And
okay,
thanks.
So,
what I want to say though is make sure you drop your links into the YouTube, Discord, whatever else you want to share with us. That'd be great.
I would love to.
And the other thing, I'm also, maybe you heard my thinking, it's like, I'm going to quit C4C and just work with you guys, because it's so
we like what
got
I'm
it well organized.
what I'm excited about is like what we're showing are just some patterns that people can use and try on their own, and then start to apply in their own local context, right? So hopefully we can find ways that we can all just be supporting each other. Just you providing me the opportunity to share this is like a huge gift to me and to our community here.
Generating ideas for me as I see this collaboration, it's like, wow. So your idea fits in with, and maybe that's where my stunned look is. It's like my brain is just exploding right now with possibilities. So keep going, because this is absolutely amazing. And I'm not quitting C4C, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No,
it's very interesting, because I think one of the key challenges to connect boots on the ground, and thank you really for working boots on the ground, is verification, right? It's kind of multi-layer verification. And if we're able to show exactly, how the money got there, what it actually did, and have this layer of verifications, I think it can apply to many, many projects. I know also, I'm working on stuff like that in agriculture supply chain in Ghana. I know Michael is working on verification on the ground in some projects. And I think this is really great. And this building this methodology of verification and trust of what's happening on the ground can help to connect, I think, better to people that want to support and help and be part of that.
Yes.
So well done. Really great.
Easy. Thank you.
The element in this is the ikigai too, because you're talking about, you know, people, I don't like entering stuff in spreadsheets. Somebody does, you know, so collecting this in one area in the Discord with the pictures, that's everybody's doing their work and they're busy doing what they love to do. And then someone comes along that loves those spreadsheets and taking that information and putting it into something else. And then they're doing that work as well. And we end up making more impact because we're all doing the things that we love and we're good at. And we're not forced to follow a certain system that says, okay, if you want to get paid, you need to do this, 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 and that thing that you don't want to do that's going to block you forever from following through with this job. So it really does free up a lot of things. Sorry, I'm getting very excited. Chris, keep
good. Well, I'm glad you're excited because we're excited too. Here's one way that we can pay folks is we use Giveth as a platform. Just as a side note, Giveth currently does not accept ADA, but they're open to using any kind of chains out there and are interoperable in that way. And so if there was ever a team of people who knew how to do stuff, maybe they'd want to enable ADA to work on this platform. But just look to here's one from September 4th. So very recently, we received a $22.11 donation. Awesome. So we have our updates here. Each one of these, and we do our updates on the lunar cycles, right? So happy new moon, here's how we did, and here's our summer update, and happy new moon again, right? This makes it easy for us to have a reliable cadence to work off of. The funds get sent into a wallet that then distributes the funds to all the different people based on the contributions. And let's see, what else did I want to share here? I have a few other slides that I could get into that I think would be helpful. Let's go to this one here.
So when you said wallets, now I'm assuming that there's other cryptocurrencies that Given does accept.
Yes, yeah. So we use a Taurus wallet right now, and let me see, make sure I'm still with you guys. Okay, and Taurus is one that accepts like multiple cryptocurrencies that we could then use, and then we just work with each person on the project, and they get the wallets necessary to accept that cryptocurrency. So it is an interesting way of onboarding people who like never used Discord before, never had a wallet before, but there's like a tangible reason for why they'd want to do it.
So there's definitely a call out to the person that can make this easy for Given to accept ADA.
Yes.
We saw that challenge with Pike in Malawi. You know, how does he accept ADA and the transparency that goes along with that? How does he accept it and then turn it into his own fiat? Really big hassle. But if we can start giving these APIs or whatever they might be to these different platforms, and then all of a sudden we've got Cardano transactions that are lower impact and multi-purpose. So, sorry, keep going. This is what happens when I get together with you. It's like,
it's all firing, which is good because it just tells us that we have more things to talk about, and we got to be spending more time getting engaged with each other. I'll just quickly go through a few slides here so you can see. Are you seeing this
slide deck? Yes.
All right, cool. So the gardens.
Chris, but by the way, for Fund 10, we can work on a proposal. You can work on a proposal. We support you to bring Give It into to be accept ADA, right? So then we can connect it to your project.
So we can also start that in regeneration opportunity for Cardano, because whether or not that challenge gets funded, we're still working on this collaborative model. And if we create these proposals, we don't have the fund, no big deal. We'll figure out which challenge they should go into. But that's the whole thing, to start this collaboration now.
Nice.
And not wait till the last minute and then throw your proposal in 1 week before. So.
Yeah, when I heard what you're doing around fostering greater collaboration before proposals are actually submitted, if you can't, it's just, anyway, preach to the choir. Okay, so these Lear gardens, they generate soil, they circulate water, a lot of benefits to why I use them. Here's just an interesting opportunity that I'll mention now that we have going on. So here's our existing site. What you don't see is on the other, like behind where these houses are, is a bunch of mine tailings. It's a bunch of mine waste that is just, it's pretty wild that just right next to it, we're doing all this growing, but that's what's happening. So we have 3 beds up and running. We added a pond. We just started a worm farm. We spend a lot of money on worms, so there's a reason for us to do that. We've added plants to support pollinators and biodiversity. We've done some community planting parties. And what we're really interested in is the fact that right next to us, this lot just came up for sale. And so we see a ton of benefits to us expanding our operations to the lot next door to us. So this is just a little bit of what we're working on right now. We put some interesting financials together. Essentially, what we could do is get the funding for the land, get 12 Lear gardens set up on it, which generate healthy soil. We could then sell the soil as an output and then use the funds that we got from the soil to make more Lear gardens. So the reason we call it regenerative philanthropy is because we're looking for people to fund this initial first year. It's $50,000. But then what that would mean is it would enable us to create a self-sustaining project. We wouldn't need to have to keep going back to the funders to ask for year 2, year 3.
It literally is seed funding.
It actually is seed funding, right?
Regenerative opportunity for Cardano is this is seed funding, and so that we create these sustainable systems that start self-generating, start regenerating, self-regeneration. So
yes.
Nori, did you have something to say? Or
it was just a really exciting model. It's very similar to what Dylan is doing with the algae token and his algae farms. They're also building an initial things. They're selling the food grade, pharmaceutical grade algae that they grow, and then that funds the next algae farm.
Yes,
continues to grow.
I love it.
These are really all exciting initiatives.
So more of this stuff. This is what we need. Perfect.
Yes. I want to say, Melanie, you mentioned this point earlier about like ensuring that we find ways for us to get paid for the work that we're doing. And we have that as bullet 2 for a reason, because we find it so critical that it needs to pay to regenerate places. Like if people can't support their family doing good,
not
meaningful
self-sustaining,
work, what are we doing, right? So just again, preaching to the choir, but it is an important point that needs to be emphasized, because it's those opportunities are currently lacking. And part of what we're trying to do is create these opportunities by ensuring that people can get paid to support their community. And so if we can do that with fiat, great. Crypto, great. But ultimately, people need to be able to support themselves and their families. The last thing I'll say.
Question from Afia for the slide decks. And just to make this clear, this is not a Fund 9 proposal.
No, it is
this
not.
is something that you've been working on, and that we could hopefully see into Fund 10 and get this stuff duplicated elsewhere. So really amazing. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I mean, really, we're hoping to get some funding from foundations who understand the value of this, and where cryptocurrency and just the affordances of blockchain and distributed ledger technology become really interesting is like, we have a soil expert, Chris Gardner, funny name for a soil expert, but we just bought this tool called an aerometer, and an aerometer tests soil moisture. And we're starting to really be able to fine tune exactly what our watering schedules need to be in order to create the right kind of aerobic environment for our soil. And Jillian Hovey is someone else who plays a lot in the Web3 permaculture space. And so she's an advisor as well. And then the inventor of the Lear Gardens. I should say that none of this could be possible without the people working on the ground, and it's really a triad that are the main people working on it. We have a lot of volunteers who help out, or just intermittently help out, some high school students and so on. But Mary Martha is a science teacher here at our local school, and then Miguel Sanchez, a combat veteran. they're really the ones that hold it down. So thank you very much. I'm happy to engage in any other ways, but I'm just very pleased that I get to share this with you all. Thank you for the opportunity.
I'm back Pacific Town Hall, 1
All right.
a.m. UTC tomorrow, just to get more of this. Chris, absolutely fantastic.
Cool.
Can
Right
you
on.
please share links and let's make this
Yes.
connection even more solid?
I will share links right now. Absolutely.
And please, if you feel inclined to join the regeneration opportunity for Cardano, I think I see stuff happening there. I see those pieces starting to fall into place for the puzzle. Yeah, if possible. I keep saying it's a lot of work, and I realize that other people will have to take on a little bit of that work too. But also recognizing that we're moving into this place of this ikigai. All that stuff that you're doing, it's like I'm ready to quit C4C and all the work that I do so that I can focus on, you know, the soil meters and things that I can do on the boots on the ground too. But what I also see is that this is making it possible for me to do both, to both work for C4C and not discover all these things. They're getting set up, and it's going to be something that we can make a lot easier for everybody to be able to use. Any questions or comments? Let's light it up and stop listening to me.
I've got a question. So where's the market? Like who uses this soil? Like who would be buying it from you?
So in conversations that we've had first with Ed, who's the inventor of the Leader Gardens, is the first person who started selling soil and looking at different markets. So the like medium-sized home grower, especially here in Arizona, they absolutely need this kind of soil because it had like to create that kind of moisture environment that you need for the fungal bacterial ratios is like basically impossible to do just left to its own devices here in our area. And then we have some hopes of potentially looking at like within the, so we're nested within the Tonto National Forest. And so there's a number of remediation efforts that are taking place here. And our ideal situation would be able to work with these groups who are doing remediation and just be a supplier to them for the soil. We'll see if that actually ends up happening. And then like, if none of those things work, everyone tells us, including the soil scientists that we mentioned, Chris Gardner, that the cannabis industry, like the smaller growers, are in desperate need of good soil.
I don't think
so we'd
that
like to see like the highest and best uses, but yeah.
Unless you grow things yourself, I don't think people realize how important the soil is. Water retention. We have 10 acres here, clay, and I'm trying to let it fallow and return that topsoil because it was a hayfield, and it's so close to desertification. As soon as you take off any of that topsoil, and that kills the ground, you're talking about a living, alive soil that produces food for roots, that grows and sequesters carbon. Man alive, I can't say enough about the importance of this soil. So, you know, we may think, oh, a bag of soil, we can go to the local grocery store and buy that. This is not what we're talking about. This is alive stuff. And the fact that it's being grown by you guys in this whole cycle is amazing, because this is the supply chain as well.
Yeah,
I can buy soil and it's like it says it's compost. Well, where did it come from?
And how long has it been in the bag? Because if it's alive,
how long's it been in the bag, you know, and look at the cost of it. I buy soil all the time, even though I'm on 10 acres, because I need to regenerate what we have here. And I know that it makes a big difference. Sorry, Lawrence, for jumping in there, but
no, that's great. Thank you. Again, it's more education. I don't have a lot of experience in that, but it kind of connects the dots. Actually, I was just traveling in Arizona this summer. It was a nice part of the
nice.
state. So that was great. Appreciate it.
Well,
Yeah,
that cracked soil too is another experience. You know, when you see that clay that cracks, it's getting to that point, you know, and then you get desertification, sand in other areas that are starting to creep in. And unless we deal with our soil and the growth and the health of that ground, it's we're in trouble. So even this little bit helps. Sorry, I'm preaching again to the choir, I'm sure. Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, hi guys, Rick here. Hi Chris. I had a question. How are you regenerating the soil? Is that in the raised beds that you're shown there in the video, or is it another method?
Yes, it's in those raised beds. We put a bunch of wood chips in there, earthworms, if we can inoculate the bed with some mycelium, and then the bed runs at an angle. So we run the water through. It drains down at the bottom into our pond and then gets pumped back up when we water again. We can't, as far as we know, can't do things directly on the ground because we're an ex-mining town, and our arsenic levels and there's a number of tests that have been done that show that our ground is not the safest to grow in. So yeah, those beds is the best option for us in our context.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next question as to why would you not do that on the ground directly? Yeah. Because that's definitely what you want to see, isn't it? Because looking at those images, you could see it's bone dry, and there's no cover crop on that at all. Yeah,
right.
I suppose in sort of the interim or as a side thing, you could just plant grass or some other cover, even if it's not being sold, but it still, eventually over time, maybe the plant life will do something good on that patch of land, isn't it?
100%. Yeah. Yep, I'm right there with you. Getting some cover crop there would just over the long term start to support the efforts that we're doing. And we also talked about if we had a surplus of soil, we could just start remediating the land that we're already on because why not?
I've got a link I just found interesting. I was watching it the other day. It's about producing compost. If it's okay to share, I'll just pop it in the chat.
Please.
So these folks were doing I think they were collecting organic waste, food scraps and all sorts, and the community was just dropping it off there, and they sort of eventually got in touch with another company that was collecting organic waste anyway, and so eventually they transferred their business operations on their site. And it was a very simple setup, a few sort of parking spaces with some concrete or blockwork walls, and all they did is rotate that organic matter with some leaves and some carbon in there, and eventually got a really high quality organic soil, really. So I've just popped it in there if you guys have time. It's really interesting, and they're doing quite well with it, and it's a very straightforward exercise. So yeah, it's worth having a look.
Thank you, Rick. Yeah, I got the link here. I appreciate that. And Abraham, I saw you had your hand up a second ago.
Oh, I thought maybe it might be nice to add a fish farm there. You might be able to sell, fish, seafood, and add some fish poop to your soil.
Abraham, in our pond, we so want to get fish going, and we need someone who is an expert in fish because the summer in Arizona, the fish that we've tried so far, they died, and we had to have a fish funeral, and it was really sad. But we know it's possible. So
probably the toxicity levels of the pond might have something to do with it.
It's just so hot. We even had some fish that we didn't even put directly into the water. We had them in the bag of water that they came in, and just placing them in there for 15 minutes, they were toast. But it now that the fall is coming, what we talked about doing is maybe even having fish seasonally, and so like have them in the fall, and then once we get close to summer, just having like a fish harvest where we do like a if we can find some catfish that we could then have a catfish cookout, yeah, or just eat them, and then do it again. The
other thing is for ponds to make sure you've got good cover in the summertime, because we have a little pond here that thrives with frogs, and this year it was absolutely covered with duckweed, which is another high protein food. So there's all sorts of things. Hopefully tonight at the Pacific Town Hall, another pitch for that, that maybe Dylan will show up, and you're going to talk to the the algae guy and ponds,
Yeah.
which would be absolutely fascinating to see that end of stuff, because there's a whole other growth in that one. But definitely cover on the ponds is important. Whether it's potted plants or something that keeps the sun off that water will make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we're at half the hour, and I think might be good to, unless we've got more questions, wrap up for today. Okay, look at that tilapia fish.
Yeah,
This
it's
is what the community is all
tropical
about.
fish. We get them a lot in South Africa, and the guys use that for large scale production, sell that in the supermarkets, and they can take cooler temperatures and really warm water, so they're quite tough. You know, obviously putting it in, if you're in a tank type system, you may want to cover that. If it's a larger pond, then they should be fine. They can take quite warm waters as well. But yeah, in general, if you're looking to do that, tropical fish, if it's a warm climate, yeah.
And Afia agrees, very tolerant. So it's what we need, is more tolerance. Climate change, right? Be more flexible. Anything else? Any wrapping words, thoughts? Yes, Tommy, we will see you somewhere. Ciao for now. Pacific Town Hall, the big one, happens in a half hour.
Not
what
the
else?
Pacific, the regular town hall.
Yes. Oh, so did I say Pacific?
Yeah.
I got Pacific on my brain. Definitely coming back. I'm setting my timer to make sure I'm there. Looking forward to that, Chris, because this is really fascinating. We'll also upload this to YouTube and do some timestamps on it so that people can find information, you know, directly to what you're working on. Wow, I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you all so much.
One remark, I mean, it's great to have everyone here, and also new and old, and, you know, just if there's anything that you like and feel passionate about, all the areas that we spoke, so just come and be part of it, right? And help to drive it and help to go down it. And yeah, there's a lot of sub meetings that is happening and very different subjects. So just tell us, and yeah, just come on board and be part of it and help to shape, yeah, what you're passionate about. So just that remark, yeah.
Our events, you know, are going in cycles as well. We're having the, you know, related to Project Catalyst, we have onboarding coming up because it's the beginning of Fund 10. Then we have a themed event. So this could be, you know, your project that you're working on right now would be an absolutely amazing connection in there. How do we connect regenerative projects to the blockchain, and to showcase that would be great. So that's happening in 2 or 3 months. And then we have something like Impact Fest. You know, again, we'll keep doing this over and over again till we get this figured out. Abraham, did you want to say something? You've come off mute a couple times. Was there thoughts?
No, it's been great. I know you guys know a lot of people that use Zoom. So if you find my proposal interesting, then let me know.
Perfect. All right, this is the tough part, saying goodbye. Who's going to do it first?
Let's do it together. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Bye,
Thank you so
everybody.
much for being here.
Ciao, ciao.
Zuhar, thank you for coming.
Bye. Thank you.
All right,
Bye-bye.
ciao, you
Yeah, bye.
guys. Arrivederci.